Hi there, I'm Monica Lindstrom, news commentator and legal analyst, and I want to give you a quick update or the real story on Mickey the Pit Bull in the court hearing yesterday. Now, for those of you that don't know the story or those that do, just a quick recap. Mickey the Pit Bull is about a 4-year-old pit bull, and he attacked and mauled a 4-year-old. His name was Kevin Vicente, and really did a lot of damage to Kevin's face, and which resulted in Kevin needing a lot of surgery, and he will need some more surgery. The pictures are just devastating, and it really breaks your heart. But this hearing yesterday was about whether Mickey is a vicious animal and what should happen to him. Now, I'll just, spoiler alert, I'll tell you right away, the judge decided not to put Mickey to death and instead allow him to be transferred to like a rehab place or a shelter for essentially the rest of his life. He will also need to be defanged and neutered and microchipped. So what happened yesterday in the hearing was the plaintiff, who was not the babysitter and was not Kevin's parents. She was another mommy that was present at the scene when the attack happened. She was there with her 5-year-old little boy who was playing with Kevin. So she was actually there. She's the one that filed the complaint. Now, the owner of Mickey gave up all rights to Mickey the day that this happened or soon after. So he was not at the hearing. He didn't want to have anything to do with Mickey anymore. So the plaintiff got up and told the story and testified about what had happened. And then the animal control officer got up on the stand and testified as to his investigation and what Mickey is like now, since Mickey has been in the control of the Maricopa County Animal Care and Control Center since the incident happened. After his testimony, an animal behavior expert went up and testified about her assessment of Mickey after the fact. See, she essentially stated that Mickey in his past has been subjected to corporal punishment, and that when she would try to dangle a toy or show some kind of dominance, that he would kind of cower and flinch. So that indicated to her that he's had some punishment, some beatings before, but she didn't come out and say that he was a vicious or an aggressive animal. At the end of the testimony, the judge decided that yes, Mickey is a vicious animal. The fact that he attacked and mauled Kevin, coupled with the fact that he had actually killed the plaintiff's puppy about 6 months before the incident, showed that he was in fact a vicious animal and the public needs to be protected from him. Once she made that call, we went into the second part of the hearing, which is what happens to Mickey now. Now, well, let me tell you about the courtroom. The media people, we were over on one side. I was actually the first one into the courtroom, and so I sat where I could see the witness stand best. And then when other people filed in, all the supporters were over on Mickey's side. They were so packed in that it looked like they could not sit comfortably. There were people with homemade shirts on and screen printed shirts about dogs and Save Mickey. So he had a lot of supporters there. They were not happy with the result that he was a vicious animal. Some of them were visibly upset, and during the hearing, they actually cried at some times, which I found really surprising because of what Mickey had done to Kevin. Oh yeah, there were at one time 4 armed police officers inside the courtroom, and the courtroom was not a huge courtroom. I found that very surprising because this crowd didn't seem like the one or the kind that would get unruly. So that was very interesting. Back to the testimony. So the judge asked the behavior expert a lot of questions about what can be done with Mickey. And when the issue about defanging him came up, and let me tell you, it's not defanging. They don't rip the teeth out of Mickey. They file them down typically. And the behavior expert said that she didn't think that was very effective and that it wouldn't help protect the public in the future. To that, the judge looked at her and said, "Have you seen the pictures of Kevin?" And the animal expert had not, which I found quite unbelievable, because how can you effectively assess an animal, what they've done and what they will do, if you have not actually seen pictures of what they've done in the immediate past? Be that as it may, the expert did look at the pictures, and then she continued to ask the judge or answer the judge's questions. So after that, the judge took a lunch break and came back and gave us her decision. I think that it was the appropriate decision in the case since there was a lot of evidence given that a shelter would be willing to take Mickey. The judge was very, very concerned about Mickey ever being in the general public again. She didn't want Mickey to ever go to another home where even if Mickey liked the owners, if the owners had a visitor come in or, God forbid, a child, that Mickey might attack them. She was extremely concerned about that. So she had decided that she would make the order he could be transferred to a sanctuary, a rehab center, or a shelter, but he would never be allowed to go to a home because there's no guarantee that he wouldn't attack somebody else again. So the judge was very concerned about that, and that's why she made the ruling that she did. A couple things. The theory that Kevin took the bone out of the dog's mouth or away from his paws is not true. The bone was around Mickey, but Mickey did not actually have it. Kevin went and picked up the bone. Mickey growled. Kevin dropped it, took off running. Mickey chased him and then mauled him. Mickey was on an 8-foot chain, which violates the City of Phoenix leash law, which is supposed to only be 6 feet. A lot of experts can tell you about what happens to a dog when they're chained up. But that is the story right there. I think that is it for what actually happened in the courtroom. The supporters, how they were very, very emotional about this. And in fact, the judge she made a comment that she was surprised that there were so many supporters for Mickey, but there didn't seem to really be the support for Kevin, who was the victim in all of this. And I thought that was a very touching comment because I know that I have thought that many times. I have wondered, why are we supporting a dog with money and with attorneys and experts, and Kevin is in the hospital? Why do we care more about a dog than a kid, a baby in the hospital that got hurt? I still can't understand that. But the supporters do say, look, just because they support Mickey doesn't mean that they don't support Kevin. Although personally, I would like to see more financial support and more emotional support for Kevin than for Mickey. But that's just my own personal opinion there. And I think that that is the complete update on the case. The case is over. The trustee will be moving Mickey within 30 days to a shelter that is an approved shelter for him. Again, he will not get out to any home. So, I will keep you updated with any interesting cases that happen here in Maricopa County or across the country. You can find me on Twitter at Monica Lindstrom. You can also find me on Facebook and Google Plus at Monica, the initial K, Lindstrom. My website is monicalindstrom.com. That gives you a lot of information. And you can also hear me on Sunday nights on KTAR. I'm co-host of The Agenda with Joe Huizenga. It's not a legal talk show. It's just a regular talk show. We have a really good time with it. You can also download the podcast on iTunes. Just look up under KTAR. And you can also hear me during the week for various segments on the Mac and Gatos show, which is also on KTAR from 3 to 7 Arizona time, Monday through Friday. So if you have any questions, go ahead and send them out to me, or if you have any ideas for topics that you want to hear more about, that's great. Until next time, bye.